ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our ISKCON Bulla official YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss 21st chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto. There are persons who are unfit for all three of the forms of yoga called karma, jnana and bhakti. They are inimical to Lord Krishna, attached to sense gratification and are dominated by fruitive activities aimed at fulfillment of material desires. And this chapter describes their faults in terms of place, time, substance and beneficiary of actions. So it is described in text 2, Shreswe adhikare janista sagunaha parikirtataha viparjaya suddosaha syat ubhayor esanisya. For those who are perfect in knowledge and devotion to the Lord, there are no materially good qualities or faults. But for a candidate endeavoring on the platform of karma to achieve cessation of material life, execution of regular and special productive activities is good, and the failure to execute such is evil. That which counteracts sinful reaction is also good for him. So in the purport, Siddha Swami says, Nanu agnina kechit tapyante kechit na iti sambhavanti tatraha aha. ଯଦି କୁହାଯିବ ଯେ ଅଗ୍ନି କେତେବେଳେ ତାପ ଦେଉଛି କେତେବେଳେ ଦେଉନାହିଁ, ଏମିତି କ'ଣ ହେବ କି? ତାହେଲେ ଏଇଠି କେମିତି ହେଉଛି? ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଏଇ ଶ୍ଲୋକଟି କୁହାଗଲା। ସରି, ଇଂଲିଶରେ କ'ଣ କରିବା? So I spoke in Odia. So the English means sometimes this fire gives heat, sometimes not. So for that, to clarify this point, this verse was stated. For one on the platform of knowledge and the pure of goodness, and for one on the platform of devotion, the proper actions are respectively cultivation of knowledge and practice of devotional service consisting of hearing, chanting and so forth, Shravan, Kirtana, Vishnu, etc. For both, everything detrimental to their proper actions is bad. But for persons who are not candidates for transcendental advancement or who are not perfected souls, namely those who are completely inimical to spiritual life and are devoted exclusively to fruitive work for fulfillment of lusty desires, there are numerous considerations of purity and impurity and auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. These are to be made in terms of one's body, the place of activity, the time, the objects utilized, the performer, the mantra chanted, and the particular activity. So in actuality, virtue and fault are not absolute, but are relative to one's particular platform of advancement. Remaining fixed in the type of discrimination suitable to one's level of advancement is good, and anything else is bad. This is the basic understanding of virtue and fault. Even among objects belonging to the same category, there are different considerations of their purity or impurity in relation to performance of religious duties, worldly transactions, and the maintenance of one's life. These distinctions are described in various scriptures. The doctrine of Varnasrama codifies precepts of bodily purity and impurity. With respect to place, purity and impurity are distinguished by such effects as the presence of black deer. In connection with time, there are distinctions of purity and impurity either in terms of the time itself or in terms of its specific relation with various objects. In connection with physical substances, distinction of purity and impurity are made in terms of sanctification of objects and words, and by such activities are bathing, giving charity, performing austere performances, penances, and remembering the Supreme Lord. There are also distinctions of the purity and impurity of the performance of actions. When one's knowledge of mantras is received from the lips of the bona fide spiritual master, one's mantra is considered pure, and one's work is purified by offering it unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If the six factors of place, time, and so forth are purified, then there is dharma or virtue, but otherwise there is adharma or fault. Ultimately, there is no substantial basis in distinction of virtue and fault, because they transform according to place, time, beneficiary, and so on. In regard to the execution of prescribed duties for sense gratification, the actual intent of all the scriptures is the subduing of materialistic propensities, such as the actual principle of religion that destroys sorrow, confusion, and fear, and bestows all good fortune. Work performed for sense gratification is not actually beneficial. The descriptions of such fruitive benefits offered in various Phalastutis are actually meant to help one gradually cultivate a taste for the highest benefit. But persons of inferior intelligence take the flowery benedictory verses of the scriptures to be actual purport of the Vedas. This opinion, however, is never held by those in factual knowledge of the truth of the Vedas. Persons whose minds are originated by the flowery words of the Vedas have no attraction for hearing topics about the Hari. It should be understood that there is no inner purport to the Vedas apart from the original personality of Godhead. The Vedas focus exclusively upon the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, upon the supreme and because this material world is simply the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord, it is by reputing material existence that one gains disassociation from matter. Stated in text 42, King vidhate, kim achaste, kim anudya vikalpayet, iti asya hrudayang loke, nanyo mad veda kasyan. That means in the entire world, no one but me, that the Lord says to Uddhava, actually understands the confidential purpose of Vedic knowledge. Thus people do not know what are Vedas, what the Vedas are actually prescribing in the ritualistic injunctions of Karma Kanda, or what object is actually being indicated in the formula of worship found in the Upasana Kanda, or what that which is elaborately discussed through various hypotheses in the Jnana Kanda section of the Vedas. So there are three kandas: Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. So people do not know actually the intent of Veda. Siddha Swami in his purport says, Arthato api durgayatvam aha. It is not so easy to understand. That's why it is said that Jao Bhagavata Padha Vaishnavara Sthane Ekanta Ashraya Kara Chaitanya Charane. We cannot understand Vedas or transcendental literature by our own intellect. We should take shelter of a Vaishnava who has taken shelter of Mahaprabhu, so that we can understand real purport of Veda. So thank you very much for listening to our lecture. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, and listen, like our channel, and get the blessings of the Lord. Hare Krishna.